Dansun and the Field of Infinite Possibilities by T. Santoro. Introduction. This is a quick story, a brief escape from the outside world. Step inside as we explore one soul's journey, a journey that might just feel like our own. Every now and then, a light breaks through, like a truth ray of knowing from something greater than we are. Just for a moment. Not loud, not grand, but true. And somehow, in that quiet moment, it reflects something familiar. Something we've all felt, even if only once. A question, a pause, a whisper from within. This is one of those moments. A brief glimpse into a life that, in some quiet way, reflects our own. Put on your headphones, sit back, and enjoy this moment in time. Let's begin. With one soul, in one city, on an ordinary evening, that turned out to be anything but. Dansun lived just outside Manhattan, close enough to feel the city's pulse, far enough to still hear himself think. His apartment was modest. Plants by the window, quiet tunes playing low, and two cats that watched him like they knew something. He liked it that way. He wasn't hiding, just separate. He moved through the world, like a man observing something bigger than himself. Some nights, he'd sit in the dim light, wondering not just about life, but about reality itself. What it meant to be here. Whether thoughts had weight. He wondered, was this all just one layer of something deeper? He wasn't isolated. Dansun lived in the city, surrounded by the motion of life, but drawn to the quieter places most overlooked. Parks where the trees stretched wide, and water shimmered through gaps in the skyline. Sometimes it felt like he had the whole park to himself. A city within a city where the noise gave way to stillness. He preferred to sit beneath the night sky, lost in questions most people never paused long enough to consider. What is all this really about? He'd whisper to the stars. What is this thing we call reality? Some called him strange. Some called him a dreamer. But Dansun didn't mind. He loved to think beyond the surface, to look past what seemed solid, into the mystery behind it all. Chapter 1. The Stirring. One evening, while walking through the park, Dansun felt something stir deep inside him. Like an inner pull, as if the universe itself was calling him closer. He stopped. He closed his eyes. And in that stillness he heard it. Not a sound exactly, but a knowing. It was a realization. The physical world was only part of the picture, not the whole truth. That matter wasn't primary. Consciousness was. It was as if something whispered. Everything you see, hear, and touch is information. A beautifully rendered experience. But the real you, the true reality, is consciousness itself. Dansun felt his breath catch in his chest. Could it be? He wondered. Could this physical world be more like a simulation? A virtual playground for consciousness to grow and learn? Chapter 2. The Presence. And in that quiet thought, without even realizing it, Dansun called forth a radiant being of light, drawn to him by the silent rhythm of his awareness. In the center stood a figure, not male or female, not old or young, but a presence that radiated pure awareness. Welcome, Dansun. The presence spoke without words, yet Dansun heard it clearly in his mind. Who are you? He asked softly. I am the larger consciousness system, the presence replied. The field in which all experience happens. The source behind your reality. The awareness you have always been a part of. Dansun's mind stretched as the realization settled in. He was not a body with a mind. He was awareness having an experience. Inside a beautifully designed, self-evolving system. Chapter 3. The Lesson. Why am I here? Dansun asked. The presence glowed brighter. You are here to evolve the quality of your consciousness. To lower your personal entropy. To move away from fear, selfishness, and confusion. And to grow toward love, compassion, truth, and responsibility. But how do I do that? Dansun asked, standing in awe. Through free will and choice, the presence answered. Every moment you choose what you become. Do you react with fear or respond with love? Do you defend illusions or seek truth? Do you separate or do you unite? Dansun nodded slowly. It made sense more than anything he'd ever heard. Chapter 4. The Knowing. And what is this world really? He asked. A virtual reality, the presence replied. A beautifully rendered simulation designed to give you experience, challenge, and growth. But always remember, the real world is not out there, it is within you. It is consciousness itself. Dansun smiled. So this isn't about what I get or what I prove. It's about who I become? Exactly, the presence whispered like a breeze. Love is the optimal state of being, not as a feeling, but as a way of existing. Love reduces entropy. Love brings cooperation, unity, and growth. Fear divides. Love unites. And remember, there are no absolutes, only possibilities. You are free to choose moment by moment, breath by breath. Dansun felt his heart fill with gratitude. Thank you, he whispered. The feel of light began to fade, but the knowing stayed with him. As he walked back through the park, Dansun saw everything differently. The trees, the stars, the people he passed on the street, all part of the larger consciousness system. All learning, all becoming. And from that day forward, Dansun lived with clearer intention. He practiced kindness, not because it was easy, but because it was who he chose to become. He embraced life's challenges, not as problems to fear, but as opportunities to grow. And every night, as he looked up at the stars, he smiled, knowing this was not just a universe of things, but a universe of consciousness, a universe full of possibilities, waiting for someone, just like him, to choose love again and again. A message from the author. We are not here to win at the game of life. We are here to evolve, to lower our entropy, to grow toward love, and to remember that we are not confined to just our bodies. We are consciousness itself, creating paths, one choice at a time. See you in the stillness. If this story spoke to you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and remember to click the bell so you always hear a new story. And if you know someone who could use this message, share it with them. Because sometimes, a simple story is all it takes to spark something real.